Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Let me get a thumbs up. Nah, forget thumbs up. Let me get fire emojis if you hear me in the chat box. Fire emojis if you hear me in the chat box. If the audio is all good, fire emojis in the chat box if you hear me. Welcome back to week. This is episode what? 19? So it'll be week 6, 7? Week 7? Starting week 7 of Ravens Daily. Hey, so we almost 2 months in. We're almost 2 months in. On this Monday afternoon. I see. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody for dropping the fire emojis. Devin Dukes, Jeremiah, Marcus, Matt D, Jane Doe Fridays, Mr. Slow Jam, Big Reg, Jordan Yates, Marcus, Triple Double Films, Jared. I see you. So I appreciate that. Appreciate it. And again, the topic of today is who is going to have the better season? Is it going to be the offense? Is it going to be the defense? That's where we at. Who's going to have the better season? Is it going to be the offense or is it going to be the defense? But before we get to it, I need some help. You know, we always trying different stuff and testing stuff out. I need a little help. What I need y'all to do is, I need somebody to do it. It's hit ! Tickets. And we're going to see if the Eventbrite thing comes up for the meetup. Hit ! Tickets. We're going to see if that's going to come up. See if my commands and stuff act right. You know, we got to try stuff out, test it out before we put it in full motion. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Then we're going to run it. You see if that works, then we're going to run it. All right. Like, let's see. There it is. Okay, it worked. All right, y'all can stop. It worked. Y'all can stop. So let's get the show started. But before we get started, I want to say thank you to Tay Shakir for being a gunslinger patron of Sip the Tally. And again, the more we get in, the more I'll start featuring you guys on here. So I got to go back and do everybody else. But I also want to, shout this dude out for becoming the first ever Sip the Tally family member. Cousin. What up, cousin? Like Lil Lucky. Cousin. Appreciate you, Brandon, for being the first member of the Sip the Tally family member on that tier on Patreon. I appreciate it. So he can get out the van like Tupac and Poetic Justice. You know me, it's Lil Lucky. Cousin Lucky. So appreciate it, Brandon, for being the first family member on the Patreon. Appreciate it. All right, let's get to our Jane Doe comment of the day. And again, if you want to be featured on the Jane Doe comment of the day, once I put the title up for tomorrow, or the thumbnail up for tomorrow with the topic, I'll be doing it on my community tab and on Twitter. So I'll be trying to do it on both of them to get more interaction with that. And so I did it today. And I had 2 very good comments. And I really couldn't choose one. So I chose both of them. And what that entails is I'm going to put both of them up there and we're going to talk about it for a minute. I'll put both of them up there and we're going to talk about it for a minute. But those 2 names go into a hat, a proverbial hat, so to speak. But we'll put it on a wheel. And if you did not catch the show yesterday, we picked our very first winner. I think it's up here. Yeah, our very first winner was... That was our very first winner. We did it live, so the video is there, so there's no funny business. You can go back and check the stream from yesterday. So that's our very first winner. So reach out to me. I'm going to say in my email, sipthetally@gmail.com. What's that? Apostrophe CD. Hit me up on sipthetally@gmail.com. And we can see about getting you your Jane Doe prize pack. Your Jane Doe prize pack. Hit me up and we'll get that out to you and let you know what's going on and see where we go from there. Coach Vanna White. I was Vanna White yesterday, T.O. Not today. Not today. But let's get to these comments of the day. Let's do that. All right, first up. JB, and this one came from the community tab, and he says the defense for sure the better unit. McDonough has a year under his belt at DC, and the only big defensive loss without a definite replacement was Calais. And both Ojabo and Bowser will be starting this season healthy after coming back from Achilles last season. I think we have at least one Pro Bowl caliber player on every level of the defense. So holding teams under 20 should be the expectation every week. JB, I agree. 100%. But I was calling for the groceries to hold people to 20 points last year. So again, with more people coming back, as he mentioned, and then only the exit of Calais, I think the defense should be the standard to hold people, realistically, 24 points and under. Right around 24 points and under, 3 touchdowns and a field goal max weekly, as long as everybody stay healthy. Let's go to our second one, though. And again, we won't have 2 every day. I just had 2 today because I felt like I couldn't really pick out of them. The second one comes from Twitter. It's from War Eagle 81. He says the offense would be the shocker. We were spudding down the stretch of last season. Wide receiver room has been flipped on its head. We have a new OC that is more balanced than we're used to seeing. Maybe two 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,300-yard running back this year. Hey, Lamar did mention to somebody about wanting to throw for 5 or 6,000 yards, which I know he said it jokingly, but some people took it out of context, Stephen A. But that could be a possibility. So what we're going to do for the rest of the show is I'm going to show you the additions offensively and defensively and my opinions on it, and then we'll get into the phone lines. We'll do it like that. Wrong button. My bad. So, which side of the ball will have a better season? All right. Take the offensive side. They added Todd Monken, a more balanced offensive coordinator, a more capable offensive coordinator, offensive coordinator that's not. Let me say this. How do I say this and be respectful? Whose playbook was not lost in a vault in the bottom of the ocean. Let's put it like that. So a guy he's ran every kind of system that you could think of. He's been a spread, no huddle guy. He's been a power eye team. He's been a 2 tight end heavy set team. He's been a traditional 11 team. It's every stop he's been at, he's ran something different. So you put all that stuff in there together, and you can cook. You just take what you like from each spot based off of what talents you got, and you put it all in there. That's how you do that. Secondly, you got a happy Lamar. Lamar got his contract signed. He'll come in and, he's going to give you what he got. He's going to give you his all. 100% healthy J.K. Again, J.K. coming back last year. His vision coming back from the injury was awesome. Now he can get his legs up under him to help him finish some of those long runs he got with that good vision. I think it's going to be scary what J.K. can do healthy on top of that improved vision. 100% healthy Bateman. Got hurt, midway through the season, so he should be 100% ready to go and ready to execute. And we saw what he could do versus Miami before he got hurt. Next, 100% healthy Odell. And I keep saying 100% healthy for the last 3 guys, but that's the truth. Odell hadn't played since that Super Bowl. Took the whole last year off. This whole offseason off. He's still training in Phoenix, so he's not with the team. 100% healthy Odell is gonna make a difference also. But this is the part a lot of people are not talking about. 4 of the 5 starters are back on the O-line. Ronnie, Ben Powers is gone. Linderbaum, Zeitler, Morgan Moses. Continuity. You got 4 of your starters back. So they kind of got a general feel for each other. And, whoever wins that left guard spot can just mesh in on, with those 4 guys. And the addition of Zay Flowers. You got a for real threat at the slot receiver that can take any kind of little short route, make a guy miss, get up the field, whether it be for 10 yards, 20 yards, or even the home run plays. And you can also slide him outside if you get a mismatch. You mess around and bump him out and the linebackers on him, rotate whoever the X is to the other side, let him have one-on-one with that linebacker. So you got opportunities to do different things. Defensively, Mike McDonald is the DC. This is the second year in the system, so it should get better. You have a full year with Roquan and PQ, which I think is going to be scary. And I got a question mark behind PQ because we don't know if he's going to stay. They declined his 5th-year option. We don't know if they're going to trade him. We don't know what's going on. I personally want him to stay and just play it out, and we'll take that comp pick. But that's me, and I'm not DeCosta or Harbaugh or those guys. 100% healthy, Ojabo and Bowser, both who were hurt when the season started last year. Bowser came in about midway and gave us something. Ojabo, I think, played the last 2 to 3 weeks, or was eligible to play and played in 1 or 2 games, then sat out the last week in the playoff game. But I think having both of those guys will give you some help on the edge and push Oweh to do something. I'm not finna bash Oweh today. Push him to do something. Hamilton and Williams at safety. That's a deadly combination. Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton at safety. That's a deadly combination. You do have a question mark over there. The number 2 cornerback. I understand we just picked up Rocky Sin. I understand that. But there's a reason he was out there to be picked up. I'm going to leave it at that. There's a reason he was out there to be picked up. And then lastly on defense, they're going to have a healthy Mike Pierce. A healthy Mike Pierce was dominating before he tore his bicep, I think. I think he tore his bicep. But a healthy Mike Pierce to get out there and get after it, command double teams, and allow PQ and allow Roquan to run free. Whoever's playing that inside linebacker. So that's the pros and cons of each side. And let's kind of take it to the phone lines and see where we at. So let me get over to that screen real quick. Boom, boom. Almost there. There we go. Phone lines open. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Jimmy. I thought about it just as we go. First up, a normal Monday caller. What up, DDSQ? What's good, team?
What's going on, Q-Dog? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Just hitting you up and join us like always. I like this topic, though, man. But as far as which side of the ball will be better this year, I don't know. Since Lamar has been there, that his side of the ball has not always been better than what it is on defense. And looking at where the league is going, you on one thought. I think the defensive side is going to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the offensive side it will be better, for the fact that Lamar's going to come back healthy. He always adds something to his game. And I think it may take a little while for Monken to get a rhythm of how to call plays for Lamar. But even with that, man, Lamar is so talented. He's good enough to where even through that filling out process, he's still going to be able to put points on the board. Where the threat he has offensively, being able to at least run the football, pick up first down, and keep the defense off the field. So I would lean, even though the money has always been on the defensive side, since Lamar is there, the offense has always been a little bit better. What's your thoughts on that before I spend on that time?
I think it's finally starting to balance itself out with the payment of Lamar. Obviously, his check itself gonna balance it out. But paying the money to Odell like they did, I don't know if they really wanted to start this trend, but they were forced to go in that trend in order to keep their franchise guy happy, to keep, I'm going to say 60 to 70% of the fan base happy, because there was a ton of people out there that really didn't care either way. So at least 50% of the fan base happy. And really just to the way the NFL is changing, because it's so darn hard to play defense that you got to score points. You can have the best defense out there, but a simple bump into a guy when you 60 yards down the field, and that's a 60-yard pass interference when you actually might have been going for the ball. So you really got to score to keep up with these NFL offensives and just play situational defense. You got to be good at defense in situations.
Gotcha. I did. I saw a quote. I don't know how true this quote is. It's something you can't really believe everything you see on social media. Where even Saban said it used to be where good defenses stop good offenses. And even he said on that level that's just not the case anymore. You got to be able to play offensively But I was looking at some of your charts saying that with Monken, the stuff that he's doing. I would say a lot of people get it twisted. The year that Jameis Winston threw those 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, that was actually Bruce Arians' first year with the Bucks. So if you want to go back and get a better look, I kind of went back and looked at our offenses the last couple of years before Arians got there, and you can kind of get excuse me.
Was he in 18?
Get an idea.
Was Monken there in 18?
He was there. 17, 17, 18. I think it was 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Gotcha.
And then he got fired, and it was in the Browns in 19. And remember that year he was with the Browns. Freddie Kitchens called the plays and not Tom Monken. That's one of the reasons why he left Cleveland and actually went to
Georgia.
Went to Georgia. But if you go back and look at it, I would say to kind of get an idea how he calls plays on the NFL level, and I know you got to go kind of look at our offenses 15, 16, 17, 18.
Honestly, you saved me. You saved me some time because I really had pulled up. Like I wrote in my notes today what I wanted to get done, and I was gonna look at that 19 season, but I forgot Kitchens didn't call plays. So you really I'm gonna just go to the Tampa field.
Yeah, go. Right. And Winston didn't play too bad. It was one year we had Winston and Fitzpatrick started. They both put up numbers. He definitely does not run the ball. Like our running game was awful. I mean, you're not gonna be able to run the ball with Peyton Barber as your primary running back. But if you think there's gonna be Monken, he kind of adapts to what he has. But the 4 years he called plays for the Bucks. We didn't run the ball at all. And we were developing. Evans put up good numbers. There was a year we had 3 receivers over 800 yards. Humphreys and DJ had over 800. And it was Godwin's rookie year, and Evans had like 1,300 or 1,400 yards a season and double-digit touchdowns. So I'm interested to see how this offense is going to look. I don't think Lamar is going to throw for 6,000, but I wouldn't put it past Vito for 4,500. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't put past Vito for 4,500 and ran for another 600 to 800. I think he stays healthy this year. I think he's really, really going to have a good year. You may see at least 2 receivers over 1,000, and the next one. Maybe one at 800 and one at 600. It's going to be a prolific offense, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this year is going to bring.
Gotcha. So what I'm thinking, he really has the opportunity for none of the guys to have a ton of yards. Like I'm thinking, nobody's really going to have they'll have 1,000 yards max, but you'll have 3 to 4 guys pushing 700 to 800, and then you forget about Mark and Likely. Them pushing maybe 1,000. Not both of them, just one of them. And then you're gonna get your weapons. You gotta pick your poison. Like 1 week Mark may go off, the next week Odell may go off, next week it may be the run game, or the next week it may be Zay or Bateman. I think you're gonna have a bunch of guys touching the ball, and the man that's gonna really have the numbers is gonna be Lamar. I don't think the individual guys may not, like the skill position may not have like lead the league in nothing. I think Lamar gonna have nuts numbers.
I would definitely believe that. And if I had my if I were to guess in the perfect world, I would say between the receivers that they get 25 to 30 targets a game. Mark between maybe that's too much. I'd say they get 20 targets a game. Tight ends get 10 targets. Running backs get 5, and then run the ball, and then maybe at most use Lamar's legs as a closer, but don't have that be a part of the game plan.
Right.
You can't take away that counter bash play. That's a you can run. You go back and read his high school film. You've been running that play since high school. You can't. If you take that play out of the playbook, you're doing yourself a disservice. He runs that play better than anybody in the history of what I've seen in the history of football. And I'm not. That's not hyperbole. If you look at his high school film and look what he did in college and look what he did in the NFL, it looks eerily similar to what he's done to 16, 17-year-old to what he did to 30-year-old grown men. So that play has to stay in there. But as far as him being able, if perfect world, this offense looked like it looked when Lamar was at Louisville. They're running Pacino's offense. That's what I like. That personnel, cycling Likely and Andrews, not no Pat Ricard on the field, and 3 receivers at all times.
Yep. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, if you want to get an idea of what he's talking about, go look at the game Louisville versus Florida State. That's a perfect example of the type of offense he's talking about. Go look at the Louisville versus Florida State. You can't take his runs out, but they can be extremely limited and let him get his yards on passing plays. Like when he break the pocket or whatever on passing plays, if people covered and not getting open, let him get his yards there. But let's not counter bash, inside zone, power read to the man to death. Because even though he got hurt outside the pocket, those inside runs take their toll, and we just rather him have. Because he don't take real licks. It's those sneaky ones that get up on him. Like the lick he got hurt on last time. That wasn't no big lick. He just landed on his knee. So.
And even this last thing I'm gonna say before I go. Even people say that he took against the Browns wasn't dirty. If you go back and watch that, the ball was out of his hand. Buddy went after the dude's legs.
Mm-hmm.
He did that on purpose. I think he did it on purpose. But I appreciate you, Coach.
Okay.
I'll probably hit you back later on this week.
Appreciate it, Q.
All right,
Next up. Let's see what we got my man Will G. What's good, Will?
Happy blessed Monday, Coach.
Same to you. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. A little bit more of motion in my PT, so I'm happy about that. Just got done.
That's always good.
Hey, so I looked at the question today, and I was like, if everything goes to plan, the DBs in the pass rush personnel formation should have the most fun this year.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say that, or it's also the double-edged sword, they'll also be the most exposed. Because if we feel that what we have coming on this offense, we have that capability to be that 30-plus points team. And the way that Lamar plays football, that always puts pressure on the QB to pretty much play catch-up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got to play catch-up, you got to throw. So that's why I'm saying the pass rush and the DB should have the most fun, because with this offense, we should always be dictating the game, as long as we stay healthy and everything like
mm-hmm.
that. I want us to actually take a chip on our shoulder going into this season with all the teams that ran casino cover zero,
mm-hmm.
pretty much at us at the line to take away the run, and
pretty much every time we do
that, and just blow teams out and don't lay off the gas until we're like third quarter and a half up by 21, and then you can play a little bit more of the protect the clock, protect the rock type ball security type thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what we that would kind of be like a throwback, like results wise to 2019, but maybe not the style of play wise. Like results wise, 2019, we got up early on people, banged them across their head for 3 quarters, and Lamar didn't play a lot of fourth quarters. Now, I'm hoping we can get back to that. The style of play will be different. It won't be as much run. We won't. I mean, if we run for 200 on somebody, hopefully it's J.K. running for 175. I don't want it to be Lamar running for 130 and J.K. running for 70. If we run for 200 on somebody, let the running back get 75% of them yards. And if we jump up and have games where we can't throw it and we can just pound it, you got the personnel to do that, because the NFL players, they ain't forgot how to run. It just should be easier for them if you let Lamar throw the ball and get people out the box. So all the run stuff you had, maybe call something else, but it's they ain't done, man. Football is football. They ain't doing. They ain't in class no more or whatever. They know how to run the ball. The thing is can we add the passing element to that run game? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if they go big personnel, pretty much, then that's what I'm talking about. Like, make them pay with the mismatches. If they try the DB, sub for linebackers, just absolutely, just audible down to the runs and pretty much allow your big, behemoths on that line, to get to that second level.
Right.
It's always a beautiful thing when you see a lineman get to the second level when it's a DB and you see pretty much how they just like Olay like a bull.
Yeah. It's crazy when your defensive end Olay too, though. That's we ain't gonna talk about Olay, but
yeah, man. Hey, man, Coach, I'm expecting big things for Olay this year, man. I'm thinking we're gonna find a role, and he's part of that equation where I think it's gonna be that personnel formation when we got the lead by 14, and it's pretty much becoming a pass situation for the other QB. That's where I want to see Olay get into the game. I'd like to see a Jabo, Bowser, Matabike, because I'd like to see really just one on the line. I'd like to see probably a defensive end, and then whatever you feel like your strongest linebacker is, pretty much until you get into the passing situation. Because I think are we playing 3-4 or the 4-3 this year?
He did a little bit of both, man. He did a little bit of both. But once Rowe got there, we played a lot of even front. We would have two interior defensive linemen, two edge guys standing up, and then the two linebackers in the middle. And you'd have Chuck and Hamilton in there with Marcus as the free guy. Then you two corners.
Gotcha. Yeah, so like I said, Coach, I feel it's going to be a double-edged sword. Either the DBs and the pass rush will have the most fun, or they'll be the most exposed this year.
And I'm really excited to see what he does with Pierce back, because he didn't get Pierce for about 2 or 3 games. And them 2 or 3 games he had Pierce was dominating. So it's going to be interesting to see Pierce in front of Roquan, because we haven't seen that yet.
Right.
So
that should allow the Sam Adams, Tony Saragusa type Rowe and PQ to pretty much flow, pretty much side to side with
having Michael Pierce back.
Double team most likely, except for the elite, offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm. Having Michael Pierce back should get Queen the payday he's looking for. Not necessarily from Baltimore, but having Pierce back would be the payday. Is going to be ideal for Queen to go and have this lights out year and go get this huge contract from whoever's going to give it to him. Because I really feel that, because he played with that chip anyway because of all the stuff that go on. So his emotions, you know how he feel, and which I understand that, because to a certain extent I'm like that too when I play. Like I play emotional. You know how I feel about you.
Exactly.
No thoughts about it. You know how I feel about you.
Yeah, sports, going after anything in life, you got to have a why. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the why is, just the people say you can't do it. People say you're not, you're not that, you don't play that position like that well, and that pretty much fuels the drive. So.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it. Hey, continue to progress. Every degree is better.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Appreciate it. And that's Will G right there. So let's wrap this up a little bit. Let's sum this thing on up. Hold on. Give me a minute. All right. So what we talking about today is the offense versus defense. Which side of the ball we think is going to have a better chance? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through here and shout out a few people first. So if you were not here, and when you came in, you start seeing this hashtag Noti Gang. What that is those people get shouted out when the stream starts. And I didn't do it this time because I wanted to talk about it this time. So the Noti Gang from the last episode, I'm finna show them to you. From the last episode is Skeezer Jr. I want to mess that name up. Nikal Ransom and C. Tez J. So what that is so tomorrow, when we come in and, the first people jump in, I'll have 3 different names up there. And I'll choose from the first 3 that were in here, which my first 3 today was Jane Doe Fridays, Brandon Bazell, and Ozzy 101, or OZ 101. So those 3 names will be up here. But what it is when I put the stream up, first 3 people in, get a shout out when the stream starts. I put it on the back end today so I can kind of introduce what's going on. But that, if you saw the video from Saturday with the UDFA grades, you saw the very first one I did. So some people already kind of knew the process or whatnot, but that's what it is. And Brandon, I'm not going to make a whole list of videos, so you can go do Notre Game for all of them. Get Brandon to do that. So I'm going to put them up 20 to 30 to 40 minutes before the stream actually starts, and we'll do that. And that's how we'll do that. So going forward, you won't see Notre Game tonight on the roundup. We're just going to say these for the individual videos like that. So I appreciate everybody for doing that and following in. And let's see what the results of the poll are before we get up out of here. Let's see what the results of the poll are. Or is, whichever the correct term is for that. End poll. Let's see. If I can bring it up. Restore my chat. Close that. Guess my chat don't want to come back. Oh, there it is. What level of defense will have the best year? 48% inside linebacker, that's Roquan and PQ. 28% DBs. I really wanted to separate DBs between corners and safeties, but it wouldn't let me. 18% outside linebackers and 4% interior D linemen. So you're thinking Roquan and PQ is going to have this lights out year. And I appreciate everybody for, participating in the poll. And that's our show for today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit end stream. I'm going to go through and read some of those questions. If you put a Q in front of your question, I'm going to pick 2 or 3 of them out and go back and read them. And so that's what we're going to do right now. And I appreciate everybody for coming through. You could have been anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. But you chose to be here with me. Peace, y'all. Let me find a couple of these questions real quick. All right, so Brandon had one. He says, am I typing it right? But yeah, you just put a Q in front of it. And as I scroll back through it to see how much does McDonald improve? So I think McDonald's going to improve because he was a rookie last year also. And he got better in the year as Hamilton got better. Not saying because Hamilton was doing right. I think both of them were rookie player and coach. And he got a better feel for what the team can do and what individuals can do and what was best for his team. And adding Roquan to that didn't help. I mean, it didn't hurt. So I think he's going to be a lot better in year 2. The guys will have a better understanding. And keep in mind, all the stuff he got back, a healthy Bowser to start with, a healthy Ojabo to start with, Mike Pierce back, Roquan on top of all that, pissed off PQ. So he got a lot. He got a lot to stay just to work with on that side of the ball. Let me get 2 more. If I can find 2 more. If I can find 2 more. I saw some in here. All right, Devin Dukes. He says, what affects the offense more in your opinion? First year OC learning new offense versus first year OC, the ops. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, in this case, I'm going to say first year, the team learning the offense. Because he's been a coordinator at different spots. So just like I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and look at some Tampa Bay stuff. The ops are going to go back and look at some Tampa Bay stuff. And try to put personnel versus personnel and try to get an idea of what he's going to do. Which, the same thing I'm going to try to do over the next 2 to 3 weeks with the Tampa Bay film. That's what the ops going to do. So I think it's going to be easier for the ops to figure it out before we do. Because we'll know the plays and whatnot, but we still going to take a minute to see who's good at what once you actually get in games. Yeah, you can practice all day long, but we know in the NFL they don't practice hard because they don't want to get anybody hurt, which I understand that. So it's going to take 2, 3, 4 weeks for the offense to start to gel, I think. Or if it's that random, look how when the offense is new, look how much Lamar started off that Hollywood's first year. That game in Miami. He went nuts. The offense was different. Defense didn't have film on it. Well, they had film on it with San Francisco, but they didn't have Lamar in that offense. They had Kaepernick in that offense and some other receivers. That same offense came up 6, 7 years later with Lamar in it, and nobody could stop it until they got a year worth of film. And then, all other things happen. So I think, the ops will have the initial advantage to start with. And grab one more. That's it, I think. That's all I see with the Q's in. Now, if you want your question read during the stream, like want me to stop, go to the tip jar and put your question in the tip jar, and you'll get a animation over the screen. And I made it full screen. Now, I took it out of the corner, your animation full screen, and I'll read that live. But don't do that today. Do that later on or tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody, man, and enjoy your Monday. Don't forget about the roundup, a meetup. If you hit ! Tickets, the link will come up so you can get your tickets for the Roundup meetup. And we got the Roundup actual show coming up tonight at 9. So make sure you tune in for that. And I appreciate everybody for coming through. Again, peace, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.